Welcome to the Murfreesboro Beercast, where beer is community and community is a lot more fun with beer. Let's raise a pint, enjoy the show. Cheers.
Hey, my name is Brian Nell. I'm a mortgage loan officer with Primis Mortgage. I want to tell you that I absolutely love being a member of the Spread the Positive Network. It's such a great mission and helps bring so much positivity to our community. It's truly be a pleasure to be a part of what they do. There are a lot of ways to navigate financing a home, and in markets like this, having the advice of a trusted local professional is key to making sure you get the right advice for your specific circumstances. Whether you're interested in the purchase of a new home, second home, or have a need for a refinance, I'd love to earn your trust. If I can help you nail your mortgage, call me at 615-243-3976 or visit nailyourmortgage.com.
Primis Mortgage is a subsidiary of Primis Bank, a member FDIC, equal housing opportunity. As always, all loans are subject to approval. Primis Mortgage, NMLS number 1894879.
Hello and welcome to the Murfreesboro Beercast. We finally have returned. It has been a long hiatus, and I missed you dearly. I hope you missed me too, at least a little bit. It lied to me even if you didn't. So anyway, we're so excited about today's show, and you know, what I miss about this is that this is a community. The beer community here in Rutherford County is great. It's thriving. There's home brewers. There's other breweries. There's these people that are selling good beer. It's wonderful, and today is no exception. We have Mr. Chris Dial from WanderLinger Brewing down in Chattanooga. We are so excited to talk to him and learn about what's going on there. Chris is a Murfreesboro resident, native. I think he's native. I don't know where he's from, but anyway, they're brewing beer down in Chattanooga, and he lives here, and they're doing an awesome job. So can't wait to talk to him and see all the awesome things that are also going on here in our community. So sit back and relax, and remember that beer is community, and community is always better with an ice cold beer in your hand. All right, as promised, I've got Chris Dial here of WanderLinger Brew. Is it Beers Brewing? I just call it WanderLinger. So that whole fancy rest of it. Was there an INC or an LLC? LLC. Okay, great. Out of Chattanooga, and here's the thing. Yes, it is the Murfreesboro Beercast, and yes, they are out of Chattanooga. However, Chris is are we Murfreesboroians?
I suppose right now, actually,
Murfreesboroites.
I've actually just as of last week became a Rockvillian. I suppose.
A Rockvillian.
Yes.
Ooh, I like that.
You can trademark that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. But either way, local beer, good beer. As a matter of fact, we carry it in our tap room, in the can cooler all the time at Cedar Glade, and you guys are doing some good stuff down there. Been around for how long now?
December of 2018.
And you guys, I've embarrassingly, I've yet to visit the tap room.
It's a long way down there. It's a 90-mile drive.
I love Chattanooga. That's the thing. I do. I love that. I love the city. If I didn't live here, that would probably be my next choice.
It's a beautiful city. So
it's gorgeous.
Definitely come down and visit.
Well, and it's come a long way. So
it's growing like crazy, just like Murfreesboro. So Murfreesboro is going to overtake it in size by, I think they say 2028.
Is that the trajectory that we're on?
That's what I saw.
Okay. Well, we'll see. But, I visited Chattanooga the first time probably 25, 30 years ago. And I'm like, man, you get away from Rock City, this place is a dump. And man, it has really just catapulted into a beautiful, thriving, warm, inviting, comfortable place to be. And I love it down there. So
ton of tourism going on. They say the city's got $1 billion tourism industry for a city.
Really?
Of, roughly 300,000 people with surrounding area. That's not too bad.
That is crazy. And WanderLinger, of course, is part of that. Beer tourism down there is good. There's several good breweries down there, and you guys are one of the best ones, I think. And so tell me about the name WanderLinger. Like, you've told me this story before, and I'm like, well, that's a weird name. And then you told me, so it all makes sense.
So let's see. Roll back in time. My brother had been a home brewer for better part of a decade, living in Chattanooga. He went to MTSU, so my parents were in Brentwood at the time, and he was going to school here. And when he graduated, decided, I want to see more of the rustic countryside. So he moved to Chattanooga when it was still smaller. Was homebrewing for 10 years, and then he was out had come up with this idea that he wanted to have a brewery. He wanted to take that beer that he'd been making, take it to the next level. And he was trying to come up with a name. So he was out in the woods hiking. And what do you do in the woods? You wander and you linger. And he decided from both a personal life perspective and whether you're just wandering, lingering in life or wandering and lingering in the woods, that's where we came up with the name.
That's beautiful. I love it. And you guys do a lot of cool stuff down there in your tap room. You have a lot of live music and different events and stuff like that.
Yes.
What's your favorite thing that y'all do down there?
So most popular thing that we have been doing lately is trivia on Wednesday nights. We've got a young lady that's close to the WanderLinger family that's been doing trivia, and she changes themes, and that's been very, very successful.
Have you had a Taylor Swift night yet?
I think she just did 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So probably our busiest was we had a friend's night and drawing a blank on the other one. We'll come back to that one.
Okay.
It'll pop back in my head at some
point. It happens. It happens. In case you don't know, we video this at the end of the day on a Monday, which is not exactly the best time for recollection. So I get it.
Absolutely. Haven't had enough beer yet.
Right.
So, yeah, my personal favorite event that we do all year is our anniversary party, though. First weekend of December, we pair it with Maine by 24, which is 24-hour celebration of Southside Chattanooga. And we started doing the Highland Games.
Nice.
So we've got keg toss, we've got the Steinhold, tug of war, drunken mile. So a 4-team group doing quarter-mile run after drinking a beer. So it's a lot of fun stuff.
Have you started caber tossing yet with the big poles?
We have not. We're liability. We are trying to keep that in check a little bit.
Oh, y'all are no fun. Come on, man.
Hey, we do what we can. A keg toss is enough, especially if you get kids deciding to run across. You got obstacles to maneuver around.
I love it. That's awesome. I need to get down there for that. That's when? December what?
First weekend of December.
All right. I'm making a note to make sure I'm in Chattanooga. December. Okay, cool. So I've got to see that. That'll be awesome. All right. So I know you brought some beers. Let me ask you this: what is your favorite WanderLinger beer?
Favorite of all time. Early on, my brother was very much into German and Belgian styles only, and he made a authentic Dusseldorf Alt. And that was probably, of all the beers he's ever made, that's probably my personal favorite. Now, as time goes on, you tend to make more approachable beers that everybody's going to like, especially depending on how many taps you have.
Right.
So my personal favorite has been our Czech-style Pilsner. So of all the beers he makes consistently, that's the most recent that I'm a fan of. But that
I love a good
Alt, you
Czech.
can't go wrong on.
Yeah. All right. So what'd you bring for us?
So
We'll cut right there.
there you go. Okay.
Come back.
There you go. 2 I brought today. We've got our Stout of Tune, which is an oatmeal stout. In 2021, we submitted that to World Beer Cup and won a bronze medal for that. And then our Blackberry Hug, which is our most popular beer. I don't personally like sours all that much.
Right.
But as we say, it's not about what I like, it's about what sells.
That's right. That's right. We are a commercial venture.
Absolutely.
We are not a not-for-profit, we hope. Right?
So the funny thing with this sour, years ago, I'm an analytics guy. So I'm reading Brewbound and other publications, and I keep telling my brother, we've got to have a sour. We've got to have a sour. He's like, I don't like sours. I was like, it doesn't matter what you like. It's about what we can sell. He's like, all right, fine. I'll make you a sour. What kind of sour do you want? I was like, I don't know. What do you want? He said, I guess blackberries. I like blackberries. I'm like, all right, fine. Make me a blackberry sour. And so it turned out it was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And it's continued to grow, and it's become our #1 seller. We call it the Blackberry Hug, and our artwork on it is a black bear for the Smokies hugging some blackberries.
That is a giant blackberry that bear is
It
hugging,
is.
by
It
the
is.
way.
Can you imagine finding that thing in
That
the
would be
wild?
amazing. It'd be like the blueberry girl on Willy Wonka. You know?
Yes.
All right, let's see here. Let's not wreck the palate too fast. So why don't we go stout first?
Sounds good.
And then we'll come back to this beautiful hug that's going on. All right, so we're gonna get in there. Oatmeal. What's the ABV on this? Ooh,
5.6.
It's got a big old whiff of some roasty little coffee going on. Yeah.
So all of the flavor comes strictly from the grain profile. So there's no additives in it. So even though you get some chocolatey, coffee flavors that come out of it, we've not put any of that in there. It's just the grain bill.
I like it. And so a lot like Cedar Glade's stout, ours is a touch sweeter. This one is a little bit more bitter. Not bad. I like bitter.
Yeah.
But it's also not super heavy. So it's definitely a year-round stout. If you like dark beer, this is one you could drink 3 or 4 or 5 of them in a sitting. You don't have to like limit yourself to one because it's going to swell you up.
Yep.
And I mean, I could absolutely drink this today, which it's 900 million degrees, whatever it is
warm
outside. That's good.
Yeah, this is definitely, I mean, stouts have a season. You know, people generally will just shy away from it when you get warm outside. You can drink it anytime, but we see this really ramp up September to March.
But I think here's the thing. I'm going to start a movement here to discredit that thought process, because the reality of it is this is a very easy to drink beer. It's got that roasty profile to it. It's got that hardiness to it, but there is nothing that would prevent me from drinking this while eating a cheeseburger off the grill in the middle of July.
Absolutely. And what I like about this, so one of my other, I said Dusseldorf Alt's probably one of my favorite. He makes a Schwarzbier that is right up there with that.
Love those.
Of course, nobody knows what the hell Schwarzbier is,
we
don't tend to sell a lot of them. But the authentic beer drinkers, as I make a spill there, you understand the body of the beer is more what makes you want to drink one after the next. So when you've got a thick beer, people are going to, like, a lot of porters tend to be a little thicker. I love a porter, but it's thicker in body. So when it's hot out.
That's very good. I like that. And I believe we carried this right when we opened. I think this was one of our first canned beers that we had. And I remember it selling well. So it's good stuff. All right.
Cheers.
And where do where all can folks get this here in Rutherford County?
So around Rutherford County, we've got Deep South carries us. Obviously, you guys carry us. We've got multiple liquor stores with Liquor Planet and Stones River Liquor and Old Fort Liquor. I know those are some of the major ones right off the top of my head, but 2J's has carried us at different times. Can't remember anybody else off the top of my head.
That's all right. You're around. That's the thing. So definitely check that out. All right, let's see. Blackberry Hug. Okay. So my sour journey, if you will. All right. When I first started drinking good beer, I was a stouts. You know, Guinness was delicious. You know, all that kind of stuff, right?
Yep.
And started to evolve. My next step was to sours. And
that's a big step.
It was weird. Yeah, I know. And then from there kind of branched off. But you know, sours are really interesting, and I've learned a lot about them since opening Cedar Glade. And you know, there's kind of like 2 different classes of sours. And your purists, your Art Whitakers out there love art.
Love art.
Everybody loves art. You know,
everybody knows art.
Everybody knows art. Your purists are going to say that certain sour beers are not real sours, right? But that's not correct. I mean, you know, I love you, Art, but you're wrong about that. And so there's just like these different types, and as you delve into it, you start to learn. I mean, like a Flanders is not the same as a kettle sour, and a you know, like you go through all these different ones. You get into what's the lambic. I mean, like there's all these different varieties of sour.
Yeah.
And you just kind of gotta. And this is why I love this podcast, is we get a chance to nerd out a little bit. So it is a sour, but tell us more about that.
So ours is a kettle brew. So when we're looking to make a sour, of course, certain sours you could do barrel aged sours. You could do our kettle brew, and you can do where you're injecting more of a bacteria. We don't want to compromise our tanks and anything else. So we went with the kettle sour so that we're not compromising anything.
Right.
Smaller system, smaller setup, didn't want to take a risk. True sours need to have their own souring room. They need to have tanks that are dedicated to that because you can't ever perfectly get them clean.
You're truly putting a bacteria into a beer.
Yes.
Some would say you're ruining a beer, which
Right.
I disagree with wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
But you get an operation like a Brewery, for example, where they've got all the different barrels. They're very specific about what goes in what barrel and isolated over here. I mean, like you go into their space, it is extremely well organized. Because you get the wrong bacteria strain, and all of a sudden
It can wreak havoc on everything.
everything.
You don't want to add off bacteria to like an IPA.
Right,
That's going to ruin whatever you were trying to make before.
right.
So, yeah, we went with the kettle brew, so it's safer, a little easier to manage. And we've done a couple of varieties. This one's the blackberry, but we've done an apricot version. We've done a raspberry version, and the base of this is a classic German.
Berliner Weiss.
Yep, there you go. So we start with that, and our very first one was a beach bottom goza, is what we called it, and so it was a goza base. And as time went on, we started to flavor it, starting with the blackberry, and we use authentic fruit, not extracts. So sometimes our ABV gets a little squirrely on it because we start out with
Put a little extra sugar in there.
Yeah. You start out and you think it's going to be sitting at 6%. Turns out 6.5, 6.8, 7.2. So
Yeah.
this one fluctuates a little up and down. I think we've dialed it in a little bit more specific, but yeah, we had a couple that got a little high.
An Imperial Berliner Weiss.
Yeah, it was like, whoops.
That's awesome.
So sometimes you don't know until you're all done and it's in package.
What I like about kettle sours, and this is why we have a Berliner Weiss as well, and our Berliner Weiss is also a kettle sour. And what I like about them is if you're just kind of starting to think about trying sours, they're not so sour. They're not vinegary. Mm-hmm. They're not to the point where it's painful to drink.
Absolutely.
Which sometimes some of them can get there.
Heck yeah.
Pretty quickly, actually. But it's very approachable. It's extremely refreshing. I like the carbonation level that you guys have in this. It's nice and bubbly and effervescent.
Yeah.
And you didn't overdo the blackberry. The blackberry amount in there it's spot on.
Yeah, we tame it down with a little plum to kind of take some of that tartness away.
Yeah.
So it gives you the sugar, gives you some of the same flavor, but tames it down just a little.
I love that. And some sours you can't like you're gonna struggle to drink one. I like them, which I don't know what that says about me, but this one's good, man. It's very refreshing. That is definitely a summer beer.
I always tell people when they're asking about it, I'll say it's going to hit you in the cheek like a Warhead, the candy, and then it's going to finish off a little bit more like a red wine.
Yeah.
So when people can make that connection, it doesn't scare them as much because a lot of people, especially if they've never had a sour or they've had a very tart or possibly a farmhouse sour or something that just has that funkiness to it, that there's a lot of great ones, but you don't want to introduce somebody that's never had a sour to something like that. You need to get them to try it, be able to adapt to the sour flavor, and then you can experiment a little bit more.
Well, and my favorite comment that I get from folks with our Berliner Weiss is, "That's a beer?"
Yes.
Yes, it is.
And I think sometimes maybe at festivals or if they've gone in tap rooms where people have very experimental stuff, somebody gives them a sample of something and they try it and they're like, holy hell, like, no, like,
Yeah.
absolutely not. I could not drink a whole pint of that.
Yeah, I couldn't even drink a 4 ounce of that one.
Right. You just have to, some people have been given an experience that wasn't really maybe what you want them to have to try a new style. So, hopefully this can present them, and people call this their beer drinking, their lake drinking sour. It's you can sit out, it's high. So, you're sitting at 6.8 to 7.2. That's a little higher. So
That is a little on the high side. It
doesn't taste like it either, though.
No, it sure doesn't. That is dangerous. That's delicious, man. Well, good job on these.
Thank you.
Y'all check out WanderLinger. If you find yourself in the Chattanooga area, stop in at the tap room. And obviously, you got a website, WanderLinger.com. And yeah, check these guys out if you see it around town. Man, we carry. You just changed the name, multi-tool.
Yes.
Right. We carry. I think that's what we have in the cooler right now. Excellent beer. Just
delicious German lager.
Very simple. It's just beer, and it's delicious.
That is your lawn mowing beer.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely, 100%. That's good stuff. So yeah, pick it up. Chris Dial, WanderLinger Brewing down in Chattanooga, and I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And with the magic of cinematography, we have a wardrobe change. So anyway, it was really fun talking with Chris and learning about all the cool things that are happening down at WanderLinger. If you've not had a chance to make it down there in Chattanooga, definitely go visit them. There's some other great breweries as well. But Chris took the time to be with us, so I'm gonna plug him. All right, so let's get to some events. We got a couple of fun things coming up here at Cedar Glade Brews. We've got our Final Friday networking event, fourth Friday of every month, 5 to 7. If you don't want to work, you might as well network. So it's going to be a lot of fun. That's coming up. Sunday, we've got the Boards and Brews. I believe that class is full. I think every single one that they've done has sold out. They've even increased the number of spots for that, and they keep selling out. So if you haven't gotten on board with that, check out Sapphire Wood Studios and sign up for whichever one you can get in. This one I'm super excited about. Friday, August 2nd, we've got the Teacher Happy Hour. We are going to do $3 pints for all educators. We're opening 30 minutes early. So as soon as you finish your in-service, before those kiddos get back to school, come and unwind a little bit here at Cedar Glade. And other things that are going on, I'm going to come back to Oktoberfest here in a second. Hot Chicken Festival this weekend, July 9th, over on the square. Cedar Glade will be there serving beer. We've got the Sweet Relief. We've got the Amber. And we'll even have some Happy Dad for you non-beer drinking weirdos. Tennessee Tech versus MTSU. The home opener comes up August 31st. And the Common John Homecoming Festival, September 14th down in Manchester. Now, real quick, I want to talk about Oktoberfest and that whole MTSU homecoming weekend. We will open up homecoming weekend. That is Friday, September 20th, with a Stones River Revival show. All MTSU alums and just a good party band from back in the day, kind of rebirthed as grown-ups. Grown-ups in number, not necessarily in action. And we're going to have a good time on Friday. Saturday, we're playing Duke, and the after party will be here. And then Sunday is our very first Cedar Glade Oktoberfest. So we're doing Oktoberfest Cedar Glade style. We've got fun and games. We're going to do Stein holding, where you have to hold a Stein out. We're going to race with Steins out. We're going to have a tricycle Grand Prix where you have to race on a tricycle. We're going to hold kegs over our heads, and we're going to spell in German. And yodel. Trent, can you yodel? Do you know how to yodel?
I cannot yodel.
Oh, give it a shot. Come on, Trent.
Yodel-hee-hoo.
That's close. That's close. Yeah, that's great. He would not win. But that's okay. You might. So we'll have fun and games and prizes and of course, beer and German food. I've sampled some of the menu. And it's going to be outstanding. So look for that Sunday, September 22nd. That's about it. You got anything else that we need to mention?
Nope, just, what?
Yeah, just check out the slides for what's going on here and in other places around the county.
Tell people to sign up. Tell people to get involved.
Yeah. Bring people. You know, teachers need a beer. Teachers always need a beer. Having been a teacher, teachers need a beer.
Fair. I was talking about this show too.
Serve beer at your place. Get on the show.
Yes, yes. If you're another beer establishment here in Rutherford County, we want you. We want to advertise for you. It is free. All you got to do is respond to Missy when she sends you an email and tell us what's going on. And if you want to be a guest on this and you're involved in the beer community, we would love to have you. So
Blind taste test, get your beers.
you get free
reviewed.
beer. You get to plug the beer that you make or sell or whatever. It's I mean,
It's a no-brainer.
Like honestly, there's no investment other than about 30 minutes of your time.
Yeah.
And you got to hang out with me. I do apologize for that. But Trent was going to say also, if you want to get involved in all the things Spread the Positive, we would love to have you on that mission as well. There's all kinds of shows here on Spread the Positive, something for everybody, and something, a way for everybody to get involved, whether you want to do a show, you want to do a sponsorship, you want to join the, what's your club called?
1200 Club.
The 1200 Club. That's $100 a month, right?
That's right.
Yep. So $1,200 to help support the mission.
Access to the studio, commercial made, ad reads across different shows. That's a pretty good value. And come in.
Fantastic value.
Yeah, come in here, shoot some short form stuff, and get your branding and social media presence a little more established, and just keep pushing the mission. That's what we're about here.
Yep, absolutely. So if you're interested in that, let us know.
Awesome, man.
I think that's about it. That's a wrap. Thanks for listening. Thank you to our guest and to our fine sponsor, Mr. Brian Nail over at Premise Mortgage. Please go out and support your local brewers.